got one just the same. Alamau didn't have to change anything. The C4 didn't quite get anything. There's the break, and there is the wall actually open. Static finds the side of Virtue as well. Static finds one more behind the chassis. Almost connects with a third. Prano suffers massive amounts of damage. MV Taylor's rotating around on the backside of the bottom of yellow stairs, trying to put pressure onto Split and catch them. But 30 seconds now, and they've only been able to obviously get this single breach. Citizen, he's rotating his way. He wants to push further. Doki gets dropped down around the back of the throne. There's Citizen popping up towards Split inside. They need to try and put the pressure onto Jackal as they're going to see if they can stick the plant itself. They're watching the flank. They're watching for the position. There's a long-range impact. It won't do enough. A post-plant situation. Prano and Citizen, all that is. Here's the first fight. As I said, take the Jackal. You now have a bit of width. You can now focus yourself potentially towards a rotation round. Prano obviously still buried to the middle. There's Static. Lost. He swung himself. Sandbox once again going a little bit too aggressive. Holding onto the breach side. Holding onto the split, onto the door.
No way,
Citizen. He's able to find his fourth. Prano gets good boy. Picked apart one at a time, but Citizen, he is not dying.
That must be a really upsetting round for Sandbox there. Everything went...
We remember there was a big juggle of utility and of a C4 that didn't quite get anybody, but they did get one of the exothermics with the long-range impact trick. It's well rehearsed, well played. Alamo's got himself stacked up as the burn starts to come through. There's a play against it, tucked as low as possible to make sure that that high impact doesn't get it.
Did get it.
Did get it.
Second one
You have
will
to,
be,
wait, like...
Yeah, it's like, did it stop? Did it stop? They do know that he's out there with the impact. They just droned it, and the exothermic is still in pocket here for Static, so they are looking for a different opportunity. They need to find a way to clear the player from using that impact. However, these keeper barriers are blocking that line aside. It just saw him pass by. Arakazi didn't have the opportunity to fire upon him, though. As good boy will find Citizen. That's a massive pick.
That is, because he was the man that took this round back last time, but you're looking at 30 seconds. They've gone for a big pick-up sticks. They've left the exothermic on the pocket. They've pulled it off the wall. Arakazi goes down. In the meantime, they're looking at a drop drone onto the hatch itself. Static. He's repositioned here. Gonna see if they can get an entrance onto yellow. There's a breach that's coming over the top. There's a grenade just to get rid of that mute jammer, the adrenal surge, and still some play, but 10 seconds. And now that is only being popped open. Virtue, hello, he goes for one, goes for two, rebuilds the wall, there's a third! He doesn't get the fourth, the final player on the far side. And that is a heck of a play by... Perfect. They're going to see if they can keep driving that all the way across the half, and it doesn't really look like there's a way to stop it. Static! Great take there. The spray and a pop over the top, wasting time, but there's the shield in the pixel position. Doki, he has a pixel's worth of health, and if he can make a connection here... Oh, well, he won't. Good boy. He's able to get that first take. He just needed one from the LMG. There is now a new player stacked up towards that angle. They've got that smoked. The grenade onto Train, but they just sprayed through it. It's Virtue once again with those glasses. There's a trade out. Alamau gets the revenge against it. Alamau gets one more. Said he wasn't the sort of body-positive killer in this game. Great take, Shyle. But it's 2 versus 2. Alamau suffered in and amongst the engagement on the far side. MV Taylor was the man that zipped up to the top this time. The kit, though, is so isolated.
They don't know he's here, I believe. No one is currently watching it. He didn't pick up any kills in this round. He's just sneaking up. Ashana comes up from the arcade stairs. Alamau doesn't seem to be aware. That's going to be the pickup. It's just up to Virtue now in a 1v2. He gets the first, turns around, but didn't know about MV Taylor. So the MK14, right after he left, talent shields are being set up just so they can have a bit of a flank watch towards the bathroom area, just to make sure that the cache room will not be overtaken. Alamau takes one of the shots.
That's the glass,
from the OTS rifle. It's actually the kill on Alamau, so that smoke canisters off the board. That's a huge piece of utility that they no longer have to deal with.
Oh, there's a fight with an MK14, and Doki, he is just that little bit more pinpoint accurate. The swing round, the glass is gone. Virtue can breathe a sigh of relief now because he can try and do the job he wanted to do before, but there's still the 2 smokes in the pockets of Arakazi has the chance to drive round. Static with the kit. He gets the wall open. He's going to get that a little bit wider and give themselves a little bit more control. Shire with a great grenade. Takes care of Citizen on the far side, the opposite side. Virtue's trying to step and stack in here again, playing the same angle he was able to pick the first kill onto before.
He's hoping for a smoke execute to come through, and they still have one available on Arakazi, so it's not too unlikely that it will happen. A grenade is currently being tossed in by Shao. Won't find anybody. The plant is coming through in the meantime, though, but it is right behind the pillar. There's nothing Virtue can do against it except for tossing his C4, but it lands a little bit too far. The plant will go through. The Yokai drone gets in place. Will stop it at least temporarily. The cover needs to die, but doesn't quite die yet. MV Taylor finds Doki below. It's only up to Prano and Virtue now.
There it is, Virtue. We can't quite get the catch on the angle. This will get connected. Can they get the revenge? Sees the back of the player. Static lives. And that's that important worry now, because they know that Prano has snuck his way around onto a corner. They're watching the Ossa shield. That's the dance they're trying to do. They're pretty much saying, come on, man, take the fight. Well, they take it onto the site, but they've still got to get rid of that Ossa player. They're just waiting to see if they can get the pop-up. Can they hold the defuse tucked in? No, that's it. As soon as he put hands onto that, the swing comes round. Prano's going to hold it. There it is. The air jab, though, catches out the player. Prano gets one. Prano gets two. There's the last player swinging round. He's out of time, but MV Taylor gets it anyway.
Prano.
We saw around Dragon. You assume that's the one he's keeping a keen eye on to call any potential movement towards the breach itself. Otherwise, good boy. He has an idea of potentially rotating up. You can see G2, they're checking it. The Sledge, who was the first off the board last time, is able to do the work that they wanted. There's a ping on a player, the yellow, towards yellow, and they know, well, we're not going to go that way. Also were my discs. It just took the Candela from a slightly different door to absolutely circumvent all of that utility. The flashes come through, and so does Citizen. Takes care of MV Taylor around the back of yellow. The Candelas are going to start to scream, and that is going to get very close and very loud towards the door itself. They want to try and move and put pressure onto the back end. They're getting rid of that. Four bodies stacked up. Citizen suffers next. Good boy gets Alamau. They try to drive through onto Split, but Citizen has that locked. It's only 10 seconds, though. Prano has to stick the kit. Virtue sticks the cover. G2, they are mere seconds away from getting this into a 3. Technically 2 versus 1. Good boy. Can he keep the hopes, the chance, and the dream of playoffs alive? There's the first. He's looking for the second, but they've headed up. They're above with the vertical control. It's Virtues! G2 are going...
Gaming. Yeah, Gaming Gladiators trying. But Doki found himself deep inside of the initiation here. 2 players inside the office. If he manages to get the information out, he together with Citizen can try and lock them out. Suddenly you find yourself on a man advantage again. Open hatch will provide for a bit of carefulness. You don't know exactly what's going to be on the board. A lot of barricades, though. You will have to cut through. Costing quite a bit of ammunition. LMG reloading here to make sure he can continue to fight afterwards.
Well, it takes a while, and there's only a minute left of the round.
Yeah, that's sure. So you need to make sure that you're ready for that last 60 seconds.
Talking of, it's a 5 versus 4. The smoke starts to come through. Arakazi obviously can see through all of this. There's a fight that happens towards that lock-in. They're just going to get out of there before it becomes an absolute nightmare. Virtue's heading over to Cafe to put some pressure on the opposite side. Citizen moves behind it. They've fallen down the stair set itself. The blinds at the top just to cover the rotation. There is a player directly underneath them. Do they know? And will this reveal be a little bit scary? The spray comes through. There was a bit of a pre-fire there. Good boy. He's doing his best to keep some awareness. There was the end of a blind, so he might have just got caught on the tail end of the one that hit the top of yellow stairs. But I don't know if G2 are fully aware. The pressure now breaking it straight onto the site itself. Player tucked onto break. The blind hits pretty much everybody, but it's Citizen able to find Shyle and find MV Taylor. Slips past that frost mat, looks towards it and looks back as Arakaze is able to get Citizen. They're going for the plant itself. There's a spray round. Virtue drops the player. There's a confirmation though, and the kit won't get picked back up. Just in the dying throes of it, Arakaze and good boy. Doki's gonna hold F, but it's a sandbox.
A little bit of a fight occurs and suddenly they're all gone. You have to re-drone it. Are they really gone or are they just hiding? And that's what they're currently trying to find out here, is there is still G2 players around, but surely in about 10 seconds they will start dropping back towards the site. At least that's what they usually do, so please.
It is what they usually do. I think they're waiting to see if maybe they can get in at least a scrap because, oh, there it is. There's the movement that you wanted at that mark.
30 seconds, exactly.
Doki goes one way and Prano suffers because of it. Doki actually changed his mind. There it is, good boy. Gets the first, they're hopping around arcade, and Prano's actually going to see if he can move back in, but good boy had left. At that, they've set themselves up just on the door. There's a drone reveal. They're going to see if they can get the fight over the hop, but they barely make it. Shyle has the cover. Prano went with an idea, but unfortunately it doesn't quite work out in his favor. Now a 5 versus 3. And actually, if we're going to talk about that opening round at the very beginning of the game, where Citizen got the 4K, it did open with Sandbox getting a couple of bodies into their favor. It was a 5 or a 4 versus 2 was the clutch backed by generally Citizen. Yeah. And then Prano got the 1 at the top. Shyle gets Virtue, and now it's down to Citizen and Alamau. The slight difference, the drive first is Citizens. Tucks tail, Alamau gets MV Taylor, and suddenly we're starting to have those worrisome flashbacks. Move away from the breach, give themselves some safety. That keeper barrier is going to give them a little bit more jiggle width. The ping comes through there, asking Yep for a second one. There's, ooh, the break on the fuse. And the second.
Yeah, he's just trying to pop them off. The breach gadget isn't on the pockets there, but one more gets picked up. Alamau drops. It's only up to Citizen now in a 1v2 situation. Finds one. Is this going to be a repeat of history? The time is sticking out. He needs to go for the plant. The clock will hit 0, and Citizen will go for a run. He will win again. Go for the clutch, and G2 will win it again from a 5 versus 2 perspective. A second clutch in a row.
2 for 2 on Citizen clutching out.